we gather in the cosmos bright. Stars and ships take flight tonight. In the void where dreams do play. Soul citizens lead the way. Borders fade in nebula's light. Unknown worlds will chart tonight. Through the galaxy we soar. Endless journeys at our core. Borders fade in nebula's light. Unknown worlds will chart tonight. Through the galaxy we soar. Endless journeys at our core. Starry roads in endless skies. Soul citizens we rise. Charting courses never lost. Together the verses crossed. Squadrons call on the horizon. Battles fought, our hearts aren't frightened. In our ships we face the dawn. Soul citizens carry on. Oh, planets spin and light years fly. Boundless space where hopes reside. Brotherhood in every star. Soul citizens, here we are. Borders fade in nebula's light. Unknown worlds will chart tonight. Through the galaxy we soar. Endless journeys at our core. Starry roads in endless skies. Soul citizens we rise. Charting courses never lost. Together the verses cross.
Hey, greetings and welcome back to the Soul Citizens. I am GriffinGamingRPG, and we are happy to be back with you this Sunday, August the 24th. Back with my good friend and co-producer, the one and the only Fastcart FC. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. This year is flying by. August 24th already.
I know. It's kind of scary.
The new fall season is already up and away. We got NFL preseason. I'm watching Alien Earth. I'm watching Invasion just started this week. And I'm watching Star Trek Strange New World. Watching a whole bunch of good stuff going on.
So you got a lot of
stuff that I won't mention.
You got a lot of stuff to keep you busy, man. That's pretty good. Yeah, there's a lot going on. You're absolutely right. And it's hard to believe that we're a week away from almost being into September. Time is flying by, and that'll put us about a month away from almost CitizenCon. So it's hard to believe that that's coming back around already. You know, at first it seems like it's so far away, and then it's right back on us.
Yeah, this is how old I am. I got a notification that it's Labor Day sale starting. I'm like, wait, Labor Day already?
Yeah, I know. For us in the States, next week, right? Well, again, welcome everybody. Glad to see you all here joining us. Attack Cat, good to see you as always. Pops in Space, thank you. Vaverick, Citizen Joel's here, and Bluesy. Thank you all for being here, helping us kick it off this morning. Appreciate you all stopping by. Hope you all are doing well, having a good weekend. And The Prisoner, what's going on? Well, since you guys are here, Risto Squared, hey, you made it. Awesome. Good to see you. Let's open up and tell these folks some new things. We are changing once again. You guys know the Soul Citizens. We kind of morph and mod to whatever we need to do to accommodate the community and try to stay on top of things with you all. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing is doing some changes to our Sunday show. As you guys know, earlier this year, we changed by, after a long run, both Soul Talk on Thursdays and Soul Voices on Saturday. And we're going to try to incorporate a little bit of that into the Sunday show, at least for now, to see how things go. And so we're going to be opening up our Sunday show, probably the first anywhere from 15 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes. Might be covering things that we're going to call Star Citizen this week. You know, you guys know Star Citizen says this week in Star Citizen. We're flipping it, Star Citizen this week. And so we're going to be just kind of touching on anything that's highlights from the week. No deep discussions, but just to kind of do a quick review because it's Sunday and the week has gone by. And we're going to do that today. We're going to kick it off today and just take some of the elements of what we used to do on Thursday and Saturday and kind of incorporate it into here a little bit. So then after that, we're going to kick into our topic for whatever you've seen us market and advertise during the week. So hopefully you guys will be able to enjoy a little bit of all that on Sundays now. So our show today is called Why. We're going to talk about why it's called Why. Maybe you figured it out already. But first, we're going to talk about what's been going on this week. And so, FC, why don't we kick off with that? One of the big things that's been happening is Ship Showdown, right? I hate to say it. This is the first year that I did not vote on the first day. It got past me. I was it slipped past me.
Didn't I send you a notification? I sent you a DM, didn't I?
Doesn't mean nothing. I was busy.
Oh, God. You just ignored me. I get
it. What I mean is the whole day went by. I don't remember what was happening, but it wasn't until day 2. And I'm talking about when we started voting. I was on board for the stuff the first week. But the first day when the Raft and the Asgard went up, the day before, I remember when I saw it published, I was like, oh, God, both those ships I like. And then that day of voting, it just slipped me that was the day to vote. And it wasn't until the next day, of course, after the voting was submitted, that it dawned on me. So let me kick off with that first day for you. Which way did you decide to go and why?
I went with the Raft because I used it extensively during Save Stanton.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in the Asgard. It's okay. It's just not anything that I would use. So I decided to go with the Raft and actually use it and find it useful.
Okay. I'm going to propose something. I want to propose that a lot of people voted for the Raft because it became useful, not necessarily because it was the best ship. And I'm not saying that the Asgard is a better ship. I'm saying that because people got it in their hands and played with it and got a chance to use it, especially during the resource drive. I think that even though, like, when they made the changes to it, when they took away went from 96 to 100 and whatever it is, and when they changed the tractor beam, the Raft owners were excited. Non-Raft owners, I don't think, cared. I think they were like, oh, okay, that's cool.
I mean, same for the Asgard. I mean, non-Asgard people don't care.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I think it got picked more because people felt it was useful.
Right.
You're right. They're both were I don't care to people who owned them beforehand, but when it became useful, it shot up more in the rankings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and people got to mess with it.
I'm looking at the votes now. It was only separated by 5,000 votes out of 24 and 19K. So, yeah. So you're saying if it wasn't for the event, it would have been a bigger difference.
I wonder, because both ships could carry. Like, I used the Asgard to carry during the event. I didn't use the Raft, but the Raft was affordable, easy for people to get, very quick and accessible. So, and believe me, I'm not throwing any shade at it. I love both ships. I'm just saying it was just interesting to see how much the Raft became very popular, because of this event. Mm-hmm.
What I found useful was the tractor beam. I know some people don't use it, but I found it useful.
Yeah, that's understandable. Okay. What about the next day? The Ursa Medevac versus the MTC. The Ursa Medevac won. Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I voted for the Medevac. I thought it was more useful. I don't own either of these ships, but I voted for the Medevac, and the Medevac won. Okay. I'm going to go again with my same argument. It won because it was useful. I'm going to go with that same argument. That's going to be a common theme.
Well, but my question is, with Ship Showdown, I'm not saying what the rules are for Ship Showdown, right? If I look at Ship Showdown in general, I would usually think it's what is the better ship, what ship offers the best. And I'm saying they both offer something. These things offer. But the MTC, there's a lot of stuff in MTC that, all it offers right now that works is the gun, right? That's it in the gun racks. The environmental suits don't work. There's really no practical reasons that people take a lot of road vehicles out, right? But the Medevac, people use it all the time, the Ursa Medevac, right? And it's much more useful in the game. I'm talking about real-time useful is what I'm talking about, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So
I didn't notice that the voting was really landslide. It's almost 27,000 for the Medevac and only 7,000 for MTC. I didn't notice that.
Yep. Good point. Good point. All right. Now here's one I'm sure you have certain feelings about. M50 versus Razer. What do you think?
I voted for the Razer because I own a Razer, but it was a tough choice because I know the M50 hasn't had love in a long time. The M50 is one of the, I don't want to say OG, but it's OG. It's close to OG. It came out, I don't know when it came out, but it came out in early before 2015. I want to say. So I wanted to sell the M50 somewhere, but I own a Razer, so I voted for the Razer.
Yeah. I think there were a lot of
with the close vote.
Yeah, a lot of people had been using the Razer recently too. What was it they were using it for? It wasn't combat. It was something that the Razer kind of stepped up recently, and people have started using it for something. Maybe somebody in chat knows. What's the thing that people have been using the Razer for? No. There's something that changed. There was something in game that people were using the Razer with a lot more recently. I don't know, but what was it? It's the fastest ship. Okay.
Yeah. The Razer is the fastest ship.
Yeah, for Onyx. For Onyx. Okay, for Onyx. Okay. So again, it's useful, right? That's the other thing. It became useful. I spelled Gladiator wrong. That's terrible spelling on my part. Gladiator versus the 85X. Now, this is an interesting one. Give me your thoughts on this one.
I've owned both at one time, and I'm CCU'd away from both of them. Also, okay. When I first started in 2014, I was trying to decide between the Triple Hornet, the Gladiator, and Freelancer MIS.
Okay.
I used them all in the Arena Commander at the time, and I went with the Triple Hornet, but the Gladiator was a close second. So, but I have used the 85X, but it wasn't really for me. So I went with the Gladiator because that is an OG almost, basically.
Yeah. I think that there were people who, for both of these ships, right? These were two ships that people who owned them kind of felt like they needed some love because there really hasn't been anything really done for these ships in quite a while. I think there are a lot of people who see so much potential in the Gladiator. The Gladiator used to be one of the dog ships. I mean, one of the, not dog ships, but used to dog out other ships for quite a while in combat, but it hasn't gotten the love. You see the potential, but it's not there. I'm not even talking about just the physical aspects of it, but the ship just has great potential. But people keep saying, okay, Anvil, you've updated all these other ones. What about the Gladiator, right? And it hasn't happened.
Right, yeah.
85X, I think people who have one like them. I know our good friend Paradise really likes his 85X. I own an 85X. I love it for getting around, but it's more of a sport coupe. You know what I mean? Just to get from here to there. And
great for couples.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a touring thing, and it was sold with the 890 as an idea for something for that. But I think there's a much smaller minority of people who are into that versus the ones with the Gladiator. So Gladiator wins on that one.
And this was a landslide too. Gladiator had almost 24,000, and the 85X only had 9,000. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. All right, Zeus Mark II EX. God, what is up with my typos? I must have been typing way too fast. Against the Corsair. What are your thoughts on that one?
I voted for the Zeus. I had to give our co-producer SeriousFun some props.
Okay.
I voted for the Zeus. I mean, Corsair is nice. It's Drake for one thing. You know how I feel about Drake. I own maybe one Drake ship, and that was the Ironclad, only because it's for usefulness. But yeah, I think the Zeus Mark II is. I voted for it. I can't really explain why, but that one only had that was like a 4,000 vote difference, so it was it was closer.
They were close, yeah. I think that the Zeus, again, my opinion. This is just opinion, guys. I think that because the Corsair has gone through a lot of transition over the last couple of years. There's been the nerfing, rebuffing, changing, shifting. The Zeus comes out, and the Zeus comes out almost virtually gold standard. Right. I mean, it's like you can kind of see, like we look at the Connie that the RSI made, and then you look at the Zeus, and there's like this huge leap in the sense of ship design, layout, functionality. And the Zeus is like, wow, RSI hit the mark on this one. And so I think that kind of gave it a little bit of an edge, even though the Corsair is well beloved by a lot of players out here. But I think that the Corsair just had such a tumultuous history over the last 2 years that it just kind of lost some of its enthusiasm. Even though I still love its commercial, I love the pirate ASMR commercial for it. So, all right, and then last but not least, the Vulture versus the Mole, and the Vulture pulled forward on this. Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I'm surprised. The Vulture had almost 21,000 or 20,000 votes, and Mole only had almost 10,000. So that was a landslide victory. I voted for the Mole. I was thinking that for this one, I could have gone either or. I don't own either of these ships. But I'm more of a miner than I am a salvager, so I went with the Mole.
Is that why you went with the Mole? Because of the mining versus salvaging?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that the accessibility of the Vulture, even though there's a frustration with it a little bit because of the having to get out of your seat and move the boxes thing, but it's functional. And that's like the one brick for that one. I think for the Mole, even though there are people who solo the Mole, there's still the aspect of you have to get out of a seat, you have to do this. There's only so much of the potential that's there because it's really designed for 3 people or two or three people to be mining at the same time. And I think that the Vulture kind of has it. It's one person that can go out and do their thing. And so even though both of them had this thing of getting out of the seat to go do something, I think that the functionality of, again, is a little bit easier for people to be in a Vulture versus a Mole, even though the Mole can triple the capacity almost, or double or triple capacity. I still think people probably, the Vulture's what they lean toward. And not to mention the fact that financially accessible too. Big price difference between the Vulture, and the Mole too. Probably more people own Vultures than they do Moles. So
that's probably why I won.
Yeah.
More than anything, that's probably why I won.
Yeah.
Did you vote today?
No, I didn't yet. And I saw who it was because I had to find out who won yesterday, but I haven't had a chance to vote yesterday. Who was it that's up for today? Who are the 2 that are up for today?
The Prowler Utility versus the Talon.
See, okay. That was the one matchup. That was one of the matchups I did not like. I didn't like that matchup at all.
Why?
2 different ships, like 2 completely different ships. A Talon's a small light fighter against a big utility vehicle. It's like, I know they couldn't do it. I know they could not do it. But it would have been if they were to do the Meteor versus the Talon, something like with that. No, not even the Meteor. Yeah, the Meteor's not light fighter. But you know what I'm saying? I would have wanted. Is it light fighter?
Yeah.
What's the light? No, not the light. Not the Meteor. Not the Meteor. The other thing that just came out. The new ship. The Wolf.
That's too new.
That's what I said. That's why I said I know they couldn't do it. But I'm just saying something like that would have made more sense to me than putting the Prowler Utility against the Talon. Now, the Talon, interestingly enough, though, had been, if you guys correct me if I'm wrong, Talon's been like the alpha, right? I know they just recently did some nerfing to it, but wasn't that like the one that was really out there?
A lot of people liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was like the top fighter at one point, just not too long ago.
I am surprised that it's losing. Yeah, I'm surprised it's losing.
Is it losing now? It's losing? Really?
Yeah.
To the Prowler?
Yeah, it's 7,500 to almost 11,000.
Wow. Okay.
But they still have 16 hours.
True. Well, we'll have to see. We're going to be talking about that ship in particular later on as part of this show. In fact, the Prowler, we're going to be talking about it. That's why I'm kind of surprised that it's winning the way it is, but that's interesting. Okay.
Now, we do have to emphasize it's a Prowler utility, so we got to add the utility.
Yes, the utility.
Part,
yes, the utility. Yeah, absolutely correct. Okay. All right, so that's Ship Showdown. Make sure you guys put your votes in. Make sure you all follow up on that. We'll see who the final 4 will be and who will get the paint for this year. It'll be pretty interesting to see.
Who do you think will be the? You want to go have this conversation now or next week?
Let's do it next week because I have no clue on that one. That's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Yeah. Okay, so this week we had was it an ISC or SCL? What was it? That was more like a SCL, right?
CL.
Okay.
CL.
Yeah, and it was the live Ship Showdown Q&A with both John Crew and Ben Curtis. If you guys haven't had a chance to see it, I would highly recommend, if you're curious about ships, that you watch this particular show. It's not just about the ships that are listed here, but there's a lot of information that they cover. In fact, this SCL ran longer than normal. I think it ran almost an hour and 30 minutes. It was a very long episode.
The longest one that I know of.
Yeah, they actually asked to get more time in because they tried to take in as many questions as they possibly could. So please, if you get a chance, check it out. What we're going to do, because it was such a long show, we're not going to try to cover it. what I am going to do is put some things on the screen for Fast Cart 9 to just look at. We're going to pick maybe one or two from each of these categories and just say which ones really kind of interested us. And if there's something that we have, we'll try to put the link in for the one that we're talking to. We've got timestamps for this. By the way, if you go to the RSI link, the YouTube page, someone was nice enough to actually timestamp every question that's in this video. And so you can go there if you want to, if you haven't watched it, or if there's a certain topic that you see on our page, and it'll take you right to the answer, so that you don't have to watch the whole hour and 39 minutes if there's something that you're interested in specifically. So here's some of the questions. There's going to be like 3 pages of this, so just kind of bear with it. These aren't all the questions. These are just the first few. Fast Card, if there's anything off of this list that catches your eye that they talked about, was there anything in particular here that you see?
Yeah, any plans to prioritize legacy starter ship to gold standard? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember the answer. It's something they want to do, obviously. I think they gave specific examples.
They did. Like, they talked about the Aurora. They're already starting with the Aurora.
Yeah. So that's good, at least. I'm hoping that maybe they'll give it the Scorpion treatment and make the wings split out, but that's not going to happen.
You mean like that backer creation that they did? You're referring to? Right, okay, yeah. Some folks may not have know what you're talking about, but there was a backer. I think it was it Piss Poor Pete? Maybe, I think, who did that. I don't remember. Somebody Execute knows, but they redesigned. They did a design. I think it was Execute, but anyway, they basically made. You guys know how the Aurora looks with those 4 bars that go down the side. Well, they made it so that those actually spread out similar to the Scorpius, and they were saying how that could be part of the design language for RSI's fighters. Similar to what the Scorpius was, if the Aurora's wings kind of came out that way and it kind of had like that dragonfly look. And that's what Fast Cart was referencing. Is there another thing on here that you saw that caught your eye?
What brought on the trend of bespoke weapons? Because I think it was 2 this year that had bespoke weapons. Yeah, the last 2. So someone was saying, okay, is this like a bespoke weapon trend that's going on? And John Chris explained that they have, he said 1, but then Disco Lando corrected him, said there's 2. There's 2 more ships with bespoke weapons coming out this year. So not really a trend, it's just coincidence mostly. Exactly.
Well, for me, it was interesting that they opened up, me being an Origin person, they opened up the show saying 600 rework win. And it was, disappointing again. Disappointing again.
You're disappointed.
Well, here's the funny thing about it, right? This is not the first time that CIG has shown us something, and you have to temper your expectations, right? You see something, and sometimes it even does get to a point where they start working on something. It'll go on the progress report or something like that, a progress tracker, and then it gets removed. And God knows, remember that back in the days when the Taurus used to go. I think the Taurus went on and off the progress tracker like 3 or 4 times before it finally came out. Which modularity was another thing that did the same thing. Going on the tracker, came off, came on, came off. So, of course, those of us who own 600s, we would love to see that rework come. But unfortunately, they don't have it scheduled for next year. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens if it pops up again. But for now, they don't have it on the list of things to be working on anytime soon. Another one that was interesting was what happened to the 4th Zeus. The Mark II ST. And some of you guys will remember that they did show, when they showed the marketing or the ships for the new Zeus releases, there were 4 that were shown at first. And then all of a sudden it went back to 3. And John made it clear that it was a slide that he originally had put together. But then when they determined that the gameplay for that ship wasn't going to be in, they decided to hold back on it. Now, personally, Fast Cart, I'm going to ask you, what do you think that gameplay may have been when it's called the Zeus ST? Do you have any idea what you think it is? I have an idea, but I'm curious to see what you think it might be.
The Zeus ST. No, nothing coming to me. I don't believe there's an ST ship in the verse right now. Nope. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember, but go ahead.
Well, I'm wondering, back upon what the earlier designs of the ship like the Zeus were, and some other ships that have been like shuttles, I'm wondering whether it's going to be a shuttle, similar to what would be the Crusader What's the
You talking about the tram?
not tram, the Crusader guys? What's the Crusader touring ship called?
Oh, not the Intrepid.
No.
Crusader touring?
Guys, what's the trip we're waiting on? What's the ship that we're waiting on from Crusader? The E1. Thank you, Captain Jones. So it'll be along the lines of the E1 or along the lines of the Consolidated Outlands. What's the thing called? Brain fart today, y'all. What's the ship that transports people fast car? The airliner.
Oh, Genesis.
The Genesis Starliner,
yeah.
the Genesis. So I'm saying, I'm thinking this may be RSI's version of that. That I'm thinking that it might be a shuttle. So maybe that's what ST is. But that's my guess.
Can we all agree that Star Citizen just have too many ships?
Yeah. There's a lot
doing
of
the
them.
same thing.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. So those are the ones that really stuck out on that list for me. Let's hit this next list here. What about this one? You got a couple off this one that caught your eye?
BMM, yeah. You talk about being disappointed about the 600 IW work. That's why I said you're disappointed. Wait till the next slide. So yeah, they said that as far as they know, it's not going to enter production until at least until the end of 2026, if not, 2027. So it's not on any future expectations for it. So yeah, I mean.
Okay.
I think it was 2023. They had it in Citizen. No, was it 2023?
Yeah, and they showed a little something on it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they said that they lost people, so that's why it's not coming out anytime soon. So it'll be a little bit longer, just like the 600 hour rework I had with BMM. So yeah.
Okay.
For the other one, I think they plan for backlog ship. They addressed it a little bit. I'm trying to remember exactly what they said about it, but yeah, it's a question that comes up every time that they have people on there. It's like, what about the backlog? What about the backlog? I think they really addressed it when the citizens. They had a slide and everything.
John went through the thing and talked about how many ships were actually backlogged. There aren't a lot of them that are backlogged anymore. And he went through that. He eliminated some, and then he said there's only a couple in this particular category that are still backlogged. And we know what some of them, the big ones are, like the huge ones, like the Orions and things like that. Right. But yeah, he did talk about that. For me, there were two here that I'm going to go with. One of them was, are there plans for refactoring getting in and out of seats? If those ships that have animations, getting in and out of them. I know when I love flying the Scorpius, but one thing I hate about it is that, don't get me wrong, I love the way the animation looks. But if you're flying two people in the Scorpius, and if your ship is about to blow up or whatever it is, or you need to get out of it quickly, you can forget about it. Because what happens is the animation starts for let's say I have two of us. The person behind me gets out first. There's the opening the canopy. The animations have to move. The canopy opens. That person has to get on the ladder, go down the ladder. Then the canopy actually closes back again. Then I have to hit it. Then the animations happen again in the front. The canopy opens again, and then I get out. And it's a long process. Even when you're in some ships like the 300 series, like the 300, and even other ships. I think I've gotten into when you get in and out of a Comet, a Saber, fast, F8 fast, but those older ships, those animations are slow, and you feel very vulnerable. You feel very vulnerable when you're using those animations.
Matter of fact, I'm a subscriber this month, so I had the Wolf in my hangar. So I decided to give it a try, and I like the animation for that. It's pretty fast too.
Yeah, theirs is fast. The newer ships, the animations are much better, but some of those older ships, oh my God, you creep into some of those ships.
Remember, and before we had the persistent universe, we only had the hangar module. Remember how slow that
it was super slow. Yeah, I mean, even when I fly in the Aurora, it's the same thing. It's, you're getting in the door is fast now, right? Because you don't have that animation. But getting into your chair, there's that whole process of scooting around the chair and everything. It just takes time, and it's cool visually, right? But I don't even want it faster because I want to play the game faster. I want it tweaked up a little bit more because of the vulnerability factor that's there when those animations are taking place. So that was one of the things I wanted to talk about was that. And they talked about the fact that it's not as simple as just speeding it up because there's also sound effects and other things that have to be adjusted, but they are going to work on doing that. My other one that I was going to talk about was
the Apollo.
That's what I thought it was, but no. I want to say about the external doors being made stronger. I want to talk about that
Right.
only because people have complained about that for the longest time. Oh, it's stupid. You can get into a ship by only popping the door 3 times. Yes, we all know that's stupid, right? But I would think that people would also know that that was not the way it was intended or the way it would permanently be. They haven't messed with that because they explained to the fact that that system is going to be tied into engineering and some other stuff that's coming later, where doors will be Maelstrom, right? Which will reinforce, and those factors will be, it doesn't make any sense to build a design thing for it when you know that there's another design thing that's going to come later that ultimately what is going to be. So yes, it is frustrating that someone can take a shotgun out, hit a door a few times and get in. But it was nice to hear publicly that, listen, guys, it's not intended to be that way. There's going to be something that comes in that says your doors will be as sturdy as they need to be based upon the type of ship and everything else that you have once those factors are put in. Now, Maelstrom's later. But they said that hopefully that will make people a little bit happy for security reasons. I get it. I think people do want to be able to know that the chips just can't be broken into so easily. But by that time, hacking will come in, and then you'll get in that way. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
That's true. And I do want to give a quick shout out to the rail and it's getting a bigger cargo capacity. So yay for that.
Well,
I have one.
bigger and refactored, right? Is this they're re-looking at how that ship is designed. And I know I sat around with some people the other day and we were trying to figure out how much bigger is bigger, right? Bigger could be, they've done increases before, and increases could be something like 20 or 10 or 20, but he implied that it's going to be a little bit more substantial than that. So if to me, where that ship is, and you got to think about the price point for that ship, and you have to think about what's the next ship up from that. You start getting into the C2 range. So you're at what, 696, 692 SEU.
696, yeah.
So, if you start exceeding that, you've dramatically changed a $225 ship to a $400 ship, and that's not going to. I don't think it will exceed that number. I think it's going to land somewhere in a sweet spot of 400 SEU.
400?
Yeah, 300 to 400.
Okay.
300 to 400. You know what?
Okay.
See, the problem is with 300, you're at, well, it's not, you could get away with it because the hull B is 364, I think, 362, 364. So if you go between that number and that 600 number, you can kind of land in between the C2 and a hull B. That puts that Raylan in a really nice sweet spot for me. But, who knows, right? Who knows? What about the alien tax?
The other thing is, it seems to have a history of oh yeah, it seems to have a history of picking ships that just get bigger. The BMM, the Endeavor, now the Raylan.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of ships. Yeah, a lot of ships.
A whole bunch of ships.
Yeah, a lot of ships and especially the older ones. Now, the Raylan, what they said was going to get bigger was the cargo. It doesn't mean the ship's going to get bigger.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It depends on how they configure the cargo. No, I'm saying it depends. The reason why I'm saying that is we sat and counted the other day that even with their current configuration, if they make that all where all those boxes can hold 32 SEU boxes, you can get near 400 and something. It just all depends on how they configure it, because the Raylan's cargo system is a 3-box system. It's layered in 3 ways. So if they change that around and reconfigure it, they can still maintain that ship profile, right? So it stays a nice size, but it becomes a real blockade runner. It doesn't get physically big as far as the ship goes, but it expands the cargo section a little bit more. But we'll see.
Probably myself how big the Starlancer Max is.
Yeah. Starlancer Max. Max is 220, 280, 260. Who remembers what a Starlancer Max is? It's in the 200s.
It is. Here it is. I got it. It is 224.
Yeah. See, not that big.
Yeah.
Not that big. So, okay. All right. And I think we got one more page to look at here. Yeah, 2 more pages. Anything on this one that caught your eye?
What? Sorry, I had the other page up. Here you are. Oh yeah, I thought it was funny how they talk. They bought it PTV. The PTV was supposed to get a backing ship paint 2 years ago, 2023, and they still haven't worked it out, but it's coming. We don't know when. Oh, the big one. Are we done with concept ships? That's a discussion. They said that. They brought up the battle cruiser, which is not a Kickstarter goal, but a
well, wait a minute. Which one are you covering? Are you covering the concept ships or the battle cruiser? Are you covering both?
They're both the same.
Okay, I'm just making sure. You started on one, but then you went to the other. I just wanted to make sure before we exhausted it. Okay.
Because they did it in the last show, basically. But they said that Okay, are we done with concept ships? They want to be done with concept ships. They want to go straight to flyable from now on, but there will be exceptions. One of the exceptions will be the battle cruiser, which is going to be like, okay, is the battle cruiser bigger than the
It's bigger than
Bengal?
it's
Or we
bigger
don't-
than it's. We don't know if it's. We had this conversation last night. We know it's bigger than the Javelin. I don't know.
bigger than the Javelin.
I
but we
don't know
bigger
if
than
it's
the
bigger than
the
the.
Bengal.
Don't know. Don't know.
Okay, so yeah, it's a big ship, but it's one of the funding goals from 20.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I hope that they put it between the Javelin and the Idris. I don't. If it exceeds the Javelin's $3,000. That's a lot of money. If you're talking about going higher than that, now mind you, it makes it a little bit more exclusive, and maybe it would be org buys. You know what I mean at that level.
Right.
But we know people that are solo players now that buy Javelins, and they bought
that's
them
true.
as solo players.
That is true.
So I don't know.
And the interest right now is it's pretty soloable. So yeah.
Well, that's for right now, though. You know, it's not going to be later. I'm
not
talking
for
about
right
later,
now.
though. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like to me, from what they were talking about, it feels like it's going to be bigger than the Javelin, but we shall see.
Yeah, I think it will be. Plague Dealer, no, you're right. I'm believing it's going to be Anvil too. They've been for the longest time. The community has talked about, even from a lore perspective, that Anvil does not have a cap, and they've been wanting one for a very, very long time. And technically, by lore, they've got the contract with the UEE, so it's kind of like, hey, how come they don't have a capital ship in the game? And so it would be great if that goes to Anvil, because people have been asking for that for quite a long time.
TLDR, they wanted to get away from concept ships and go straight to flyable, but it will be the battle cruiser, which will be a concept.
So how do you think they'll propose selling ships if they don't do concept?
Game packages and
No, I'm talking about new ships. I'm talking about new ships. New ships.
oh, new ships.
How do you introduce a new ship? You're just going to just sell, it'll come out. Because the cool thing about doing concept, people hate concepts, but the cool thing about concepts is you're going to get the ship at a discounted price. So now that that's gone, that means when a ship comes out and it's ready to fly, that is the price. No more discounted prices.
That's true. No more discounted price. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I guess we won't get a discount. People will decide whether or not they want to buy the ship or just wait 3 months until they get in the game.
That's an option. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
What do you think?
I think you're right. I think that's just the way it's going to be. And again, they said that's what they would like to do. They want to get away from doing concepts. Who knows? I always felt, when people always talk about how CIG was going to fund, I always kind of felt like do concepts as new ships come out, but only do it one time. That's the only time you get to buy it as a concept, that one time. And that way they generate funding. If people see something like, they generate the money, right? And then after that, once it comes out, the only way you can get it is in game. That's the only way to get it is in game. There's no buying it at that point. Only in game once it comes out.
I don't think they'll do that. But
Well, I didn't say they would. I said that's what I was hoping they would do as a way to generate funding, right?
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
But beyond that,
plus they'll still always will sell game packages. So that's the thing.
yeah, but they're not going to sell ships and games packages. That's just it. I mean, the one time that they'll be able to, mind you, there's a whole lot of ifs, right? Because the question becomes when IAE comes around and Invictus, those are the times when you can buy the ships, right? If you want to drop fresh cash, right? But all I'm saying is that, like right now, how they're dropping ships right now, I'm saying once a ship comes out as a concept, but they can still do it the way they're doing it now. Like right now, they're selling the Wolf, right? And it'll be on sale at IAE again. Not IAE. What is it? Yeah, IAE. Yeah, IAE. It'll be on sale again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there will probably be a price increase at that point. No, there won't be, right? Because it's released.
No, I don't think so. No,
so so there won't be a price increase. So they'll all stay the same. Yeah, price will stay the same.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see. For me, let's see. The ones that I saw in here that was interesting was, you took the one I was going to mention. Oh, internal liveries, internal paint, y'all.
That is something you're interested in. Yeah, you always talk about that.
Well, a few years back, they were saying that they didn't know if they could do it. It was they said that it's an idea, but they're looking into it. But at that time, they didn't think they could do it. And now they've implied that it is possible to be done. So I can imagine one of the things that I've always said about the ships in Star Citizen, particularly like the executive ships, like the 600i executive, for example.
Right.
It's got
Yeah.
the black and gold paint job on the outside, and then you go inside and it looks like a regular 600. That drives me crazy, right? I think if somebody's donated at that level, the ship should be definitely custom looking. It should look different inside.
Right.
The cool thing about the F8 is when you get the executive edition of the F8, the inside is different. It's trimmed out in gold and stuff and black. It's the interior actually is different on that ship. So I wish that, you know, being able to make your interior be custom makes people feel like it's their ship. Like, well, same reason why people buy paints, right? They want the paint, the ship to reflect them, and it stands out from others. And I think that if your internals on your ship, if I walk on your Connie and you've got a nice lime green or some color that's different, it's like, wow, Fast Cart, your ship, you know, it looks different. It's you, right? Every Connie looking the same on the inside would be but you get my point. Every Connie inside looks kind of blah, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my first one.
I know that they stopped doing it, but the 300i customization system, I like that. But I understand it was too much effort to do it for all the shit. But that was something that
it was a test, and it was a test, right? It was a test, like everything else, right? There are things that come in the game, and people say, "How come they don't do it?" Look, because they were testing. They were testing the idea, and that's all it really was at the time. I think that was the only one. Yeah, I'll skip that because we're running behind. So let me just go ahead and go to the next one.
Running behind.
And then the last one here. Any of these you got that you want to talk about?
Well, I bring up that because they're talking about the drones and repair coming along.
Mm-hmm.
The thing they mentioned about the Apollo, I think they brought it at the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
The Apollo medevac drones and the modules thing. They made an announcement that the Apollo will get all the modules available to them upon release. So, and you know, you don't have to buy modules separate anymore just for the Apollo. Just for the Apollo.
Why don't you explain what the modules are so people will know in case they haven't seen it, what modules they're talking about?
I'm trying to remember. I know there's definitely.
I got it. Don't worry about it. I've got it.
Yeah,
so on the Apollo, as you guys know, the Apollo is designed where it's got a left and a starboard and port side where the medical bays are.
That's what it was.
And so you can either have a tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3, right? And what they're doing is that you need 2 of each one. So you're going to get 2 tier 1s, 2 tier 2s, and 2 tier 3s that you can configure your ship however you want. And they're including that into the purchase of the Apollo instead of you having to buy those modules separately. Now, they said that they're doing that because the ability to do the drones that a lot of people were looking forward to with that ship, the ship will not launch with that ability yet. So this is their way of saying, okay, we're putting this ship out. This is something that we can't deliver just now, but we're going to do this for you so that you guys will have these modules and you don't have to, spend more money. They did not eliminate the possibility of drones. It's just that the drone stuff is not ready yet. So for those of you, I got to say this because we all get these reactionary folks who go out and start melting stuff. And then later on, CIG does something and you're mad because you melted it. Just sit tight. You've waited this long for your Apollo. Just give it some time. We know drone stuff is coming, but there's too many ships that have drones, right? The Reclaimer has drones, the Carrack has drones, the Vulcan has drones. There's so many ships that have drones that are going to need them. The Nautilus, it's going to come, but it's just not ready yet. So just sit tight on it, okay? The one I'm going to cover is the top one, which I thought was really interesting. The update about repair, rearm, refueling. CIG gave us a little look into how they want to start working us toward that so that we can do it. And the example that they gave was that we've talked about this about cargo sections on your ship. A lot of times people have worried about cargo sections because they want to put a vehicle in, or they worry about cargo sections because they want to do trade. But your cargo grids are also going to be there for you for resources and inventory. So if you want to be able to refuel ships, for example, you will have the cargo deck will be an area where you can put or rearm ships. You can put ammo in it, and then whatever ammo's in there, because it's on the grid, if a ship comes in and lands, it will be able to refill itself or rearm itself based upon the ammo that you have on your ship. That's something that they're looking at doing. And so this idea of repair and the fact that they're talking about this is really nice to me that they're looking to do this on certain ships. It's not every ship. They made that very clear. Only certain ships will be able to do this. And I'm thinking fast cart that might be ships like things like the Polaris, stuff like that, where you've got ships coming in and land with a hangar deck and they can come in and load and go back out, type of stuff like that. But we'll have to see where that goes.
I wonder if that's going to be available for the Defender on the Merchantman. We'll see, though.
Well, either that or the Defender the Defender might have its own fueling ports. There are some ships that will actually be able to refuel. Not the Defender, the Merchantman, because those are their ships. I would almost think that a ship like that, being a capital ship, would have refueling ports. And that technology isn't in yet right now, right? But we know ships like the Idris and stuff like that. But we'll see. Maybe they put these ports on these ships, so it seems like there's going to be a manual way, to plug in something into those things. But we'll have to see where they go. Okay. All right. As we say, we're running a little bit behind. We're going to hit this very last thing. We're watching some of the comments you guys are putting in. You guys have got some pretty cool stuff in here. Let's talk about this, Fast Cart, the sneak peek for this week. Any thoughts? Did you get a chance to look at it? And if so, what is your brain telling you?
Remind me what the slogan was or the caption was.
You're the one who's always on that, and you're asking me to tell you.
I'm usually, but I forgot this one.
Oh my God! Okay, it is.
Okay, I can look it up.
I got it already. It's called "I Need to Recharge."
Need to recharge. Right. This is the thing they're talking about. Your utility. Your multi-tool. Thank you. The multi-tool gun will need to be recharged eventually, because that's the purpose. Right now they have infinite battery, so I think maybe that's coming.
Ooh, boy, that's a stretch I've never heard. All right, so let me give you some alternates to consider. If you guys zoom in on that picture, you'll see under the panel it says Brentworth. Brentworth is the name of the hospital in New Babbage. So that's the first thing. Secondly, to the left of it, where it says recharge status, there is a hand extended like this with a person or a heart in it. So I'm thinking this has something to do with what's going on with regeneration and our death coming back. There are little cards at the bottom of that machine too that have little something's plugged into them, like data pads or something along those lines. So I'm thinking this is something that's got something to do with medical, either medical gameplay. And this is kind of a weird thing because there's two medical things going on, right? The Apollo's coming out next month. So you've got medical and this, that, and the other. This is at a hospital, definitely, because there's a person standing there with a medical gown on, with rubber gloves. They're holding some type of pad. There are these things that are plugged into this machine. It says recharge status with lights on it. Then the lights reflect each one of those cards or whatever those are in their pads or whatever. And then it's at Brentworth, the hospital. Now, it also could be tied into the missions that we're doing right now because of this whole thing with ASD and the whole regeneration crisis. So I don't know necessarily, but I think it's medical related, whatever it is. But we'll see. We'll see where they go with this one. But because of the hospital thing, that's the main lead that I have on that, that it's got something to do with the hospital. Now, the other thing, though, the Apollo's coming out. Somebody, I think I was talking with Almost today, and he suggested the possibility that machines like this may be the same type of machine that's on ships like the Apollo, right? As a part of your healing and stuff, too, which is a possibility. There's no question about that. There's a possibility of that. But the fact that it does have Brentworth on here, that's the hospital at New Babbage. So we'll see what happens with that, okay?
Interesting.
Okie dokie. All right, gang. We are going to take our commercial break. And for those of you who are here, thank you guys for joining us. You're wondering, what are they talking about? This doesn't seem to be the topic. That's because we have expanded our format for the show. We are kind of incorporating a little bit of what used to be on Soul Talk and Soul Voices, where we're going to do this thing called Star Citizen this week. At the beginning, we highlighted the ship showdown. We talked a little bit about the SCL, and then we did the sneak peek. And then once we get through with that during the first part of our show, then we're going to get into our normal show. We ran a little long today because the ISC thing or the SCL thing was very long. It was an hour and a half long, but we'll probably do this for about the first 30 minutes, and then we'll get into our topic. So you're on time for our topics. You're not late. So we're going to do a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back. Fast Cart and I are going to cover some stuff and talk about this topic we have today called Why. So hang in there with us, and we will be right back. Thanks. Hello, hello, hello. If you are watching Fast Cart and I, that means that you are a supporter of our channel. And as always, we want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for your support. Appreciate you being here today with us. Hopefully you're enjoying this little change in our channel. We're just adjusting and adapting to how Star Citizen is adjusting and adapting all the time. So hopefully you guys, we're going to kind of be tweaking this over the next couple of weeks, but hopefully you guys will get a chance to have that little bit of flashback or review of the week. And then, of course, our topic for the thing. We're still going to try to keep the show about 90 minutes to 2 hours, trying to get closer to 90 minutes, y'all. But anyway, that's what the changes are about today. So thank you for being here. FC, anything you want to say to our wonderful supporters, fans?
Thank you and appreciate you. Especially to the people who come out to YouTube. We don't give enough love to the people on YouTube. Yeah, so thank you for the YouTube people who watch it there too. So thank you.
Yes, YouTubers, we love you. Thank you for your commitment to being out there with us. We forget about you sometimes, but we're appreciative of you. So thank you. All righty. Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay. We got it ready.
Citizen Her, thank you. Citizen Her, so good to see you. Haven't seen you in forever.
Come later.
Hope you are doing well. Thank you. Yes, this is perfect time. We just came back. You missed our commercial. You missed our commercial. We can play it again for you if you'd like, but no, we appreciate you being here. Citizen Her, hope you had a great stream. I hope you are doing well. I have not seen you recently on stream. I try to look for you every once in a while, and I hope things are going well for you and that you're in good health and everything. Thank you for sending your folks over. We'll try to take good care of them. Let's see. Let's give some shout outs here to Senior Mukul. Mukul, thank you. Sorry we missed that earlier. Thank you so much for the resub. As always, we appreciate you being here. Thank you. Citizen Kilroy, thank you also for the resub. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sorry we missed you. We were so busy talking earlier. We didn't give a shout out. Alexander 313, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Sylvie Nightingale, thank you for the follow. And of course, CC Creator, thank you for being here and supporting us as well. We appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alias, that's funny. Okay. All right, so today's topic, why?
Can I Can I give a quick, well, let me first of all put in a quick shout out for Citizen Her and put that in. Okay, but I want to give a quick shout out to SeriousFun, one of our co-producers. He recently found the tax release, not tax release, but tax report for CIG. I'm just gonna put the link in for people who can find it, but they put in 2024 in just recently.
Yeah, it's not just taxes. It's not just taxes. It's not just
income
taxes.
report. I mean, no,
it's their financial report. It's their financial
report. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Mel Carey, thank you. Oh, that was Captain Jones. Captain Jones hit us with 5 community subs. Thank you, Captain Jones. Oh my God, we appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Is that the last of James Brown? I think so. Nope. I know. He threw those in. Thank you. We're going to be talking about why. And you ask, why is that the title? Well, there have been some ships and vehicles that every once in a while that come into Star Citizen. And when they come out, people say, why did they make that? I don't know. What is that ship for? So we decided to pick a few of those vehicles and ships to talk about today. And some of this is going to be like, okay, we've kind of figuring out what the direction is the CIG is going. And then some of this is going to be us kind of postulating, trying to figure out like, why did they do things the way they did them? And so some things are going to be about gameplay. Some things are about game mechanics. Some things are going to be about rule of cool. And we're going to be hitting those with you guys. So hopefully you will enjoy this while we hit it. Fast Cart, let's start out with our very, very first one, which is this one, the Drake Mule. Did you buy one of these, or what was your feelings about this when this came out?
You're gonna hate me for saying this, LTI token? Yeah, I always say that. You're gonna hate me for saying that.
So you had no feelings. You had no feelings about it. That's fair. You had no feelings about it.
Other than that, no. I like the fact that it could carry cargo and it should be easy to move cargo around. But this is before the Atlas came. I think the Atlas totally make this obsolete now. In my opinion.
Really? Really? Yeah, wait a minute. Totally obsolete? That's a big statement.
No,
totally
not
obsolete?
Totally.
Okay.
because I think what inside your hangar it does. Because people, well, I was thinking the use case for this would be like inside an extra large hangar or a large hangar, you can move stuff around. The Atlas will make that easier. For outside, yeah, I guess you can still move stuff around. But
okay.
I mean,
So let me ask you a question.
For that.
All right, so let me ask you a question. All right, and I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Have you been to a distribution center?
Went with y'all, yeah.
Happy to be here.
I mean,
hey, you can probably use footage. Yeah, sure, okay.
I mean, I get what you're saying. Like you qualified it, right? You said, I think in a hangar it may not be as functional, right? And I get that, right? Zataki, Taiki, thank you for the follow. I know I'm slaughtering your name, so please forgive me. And Execute, thank you for following as well.
Thank you for following. Okay.
So you know, okay, I'm gonna go back to. I don't want to talk about. Don't get me wrong. I get what you're saying about the Atlas coming in, but I really want to keep it in the context of when this came out. What did you feel about it? Did you feel like it was something you could use? Like you got the Band of Merchantmen.
I was excited for it because I was going to use it to move stuff around in my hangar. I was really excited for it.
Okay.
So yeah, I got a
okay.
two.
Now it has a two box unit, right? It's one SCU box limitation, right? And we see the animation and stuff for this thing. What are some practical uses you think could be for the mule? Because I just mentioned about the distribution centers, but yeah, I get what you're saying about the Atlas. Beyond that, do you see any other uses for a vehicle like this? It holds 1/8 SCU boxes on it too.
Maybe Idris.
Okay.
Yeah, other than that.
Okay. So on the larger ships, okay. Yeah, so on the larger ships, to move boxes from one location to another, right? Where you don't have to move a bulk of stuff, but you just need to maybe move one or two, right? It's faster than using a tractor beam, right, to move things around. Even though, like you said, like the Atlas, if you're on the flight deck of an Idris or something like that, and you've got planes and stuff out there, I think even then the Atlas may not be the thing that's the thing to use, right? You've got obstacles in the way and all types of stuff where maybe if you need to move something from one end of the hangar to another, throwing it in something like this might be a faster way to do it.
Decks.
Or different decks, right? Because they got elevators in the Javelin and stuff like that, right? But again, I think that it will have its uses. I think this is another one of those cases, though, of something that just does not have its gameplay in the game yet. You know, I'm curious to see where this is going to go with this particular vehicle. I know that there are the underground facilities that they've talked about being built. Whether or not these things will be practical for that aspect as well, I don't know. We'll have to see. I think it's the cargo limitation size that I'm curious about, because you've got vehicles like the CSV, was it the CSVM, the Argo one that carries 4 boxes on the back of it, like the pickup truck? That holds 4 boxes, right? And even that vehicle, I'm kind of like, okay, let's see where they're going to go with it. You know, they used it in the context of the base building when it came out, but I am curious to see. I think vehicles like this, because this can pick up something quickly and go, where you have to load the CSVMs a little bit more, I think this is going to be still practical in certain scenarios, particularly on Javelins, Idrises, battle cruisers, right? Or underground facilities, places like that. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see. And it's not obsolete, Alias. I don't think it's obsolete. I know you say it's obsolete. It's just not useful now.
I almost said
it's not useful now. And I think that they'll make something there that will be useful. I agree with you. Right now, the functionality, even if it was working, right, even if the magnetic things are working on it, it's not there yet. It is fun to drive, Danger Hobo. It actually is fun to drive. I will grant you that. But we'll see what happens.
It's not obsolete because it's still a great LCI token.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. All right, let's look at our next why. Okay, why did they make this thing? Let's talk about this one. Now, I know you might be saying this isn't a why. Do you think this is a why question or no?
You can make it into one. You can make any ship into a why question.
Yeah, but did you hear any questions about this ship when it came out? I'll tell you what the why was I heard. Yes, what I heard was, why are they making another starter ship? That was the thing that I heard, right? And of course, there was the issue with the gun size, right? That was one subject that came up, right? And they adjusted that, right? Which was great. Yeah, but there were people that kind of felt like, why are they making another starter ship? Because they felt like there were plenty of starters out there, right? but CIG kind of has gone into this thing of trying to make sure that, I don't know. I think sometimes when people say that there's enough of something, they're saying that based upon what they have, not what the game has. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, I think every manufacturer would have a starter ship as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying? That every manufacturers have a starter ship. CIG has expanded that even further. We're going to talk about that when we get to the next ship. Okay. What did you think about the Intrepid? Have you been on one? Have you flown one? Have you rode on one?
I actually have one because I won one. So yeah, I think I won from Yacht Club, I want to say. But yeah, thank you to Yacht Club for giving me an Intrepid.
Okay.
But yes, I like it. I mean, the only thing I don't like about the Intrepid is it's loud, but that's just a personal opinion. Some people may like the way it sounds, but I think it's overly loud. But yeah, I use it a few times getting in between the stations when I'm doing safe standing. But I crashed it a couple of times because I got too used to the raft.
Yeah.
To try to get into the station and crashed it. But yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it could 8 SCU, so that's in between. No, I think it's a step down from the 315p. I still prefer the 315p over there, but I think it's a pretty good starter chip now, in my opinion.
Okay. For me, of all the starters that I own, this is my daily driver. I never had a daily driver until this ship came out. A lot of ships that I would just use for different things to go here and that, but there was never anything that I actually said, this is my daily driver. This one for me is, and it was irregardless of the gun swap out or anything. I just really like the design of it. It has a kitchen in it. It has a place to sleep in it. It's got storage areas in it. It has areas for storage boxes in it. It has its own engineering section in it. It just offered a lot, and it has a very cool aesthetic. There were some people who did not like the design aesthetic on this ship also when it came out. Yeah. That was another issue for a lot of people. They did not like the way this ship looked. But for me, I loved it. And in fact, I always liked the design of the Ares series of Crusader ships, even though I didn't own one. I liked the MSR. I did not own one. The only
so you like the asymmetric ships?
I liked them, but I didn't own any. Is my point? You know what I mean? The only Crusader ship I owned was a C2 and an A2, and so when I got this one, this kind of gave me that feed for my asymmetric sides. You know what I mean? We'll see.
I own almost every Crusader ship. Don't own an M2, don't own an A2. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I like this one a lot.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'm surprised you like this one over the 315p or 315.
I said as a starter. I was very specific. Okay. I said as a starter, right? I mean, of all the starters, this one is the one I like the best because I fly the Aurora, I fly the Mustang. People who know me, they know I fly all that stuff, right?
100i,
I fly the 100i. Well, I like the 100. I that's on my Aurora. See, that's the kicker with that. That's on my Origin account. On my main account, I don't have it anymore. I kept all my Origin stuff on one account. So once I got rid of the 135, this was the one. And the problem with the 135 is it was great to do bunker missions and just quick runs from here to there, but it didn't offer me the bathroom, the kitchen, the bed. Right. Okay. That's why I said I never had a daily driver. I did fly that ship all the time, but because it didn't offer me those things, like some people say a cutter is a great daily driver for them. You know what I mean? For their starter, they think that's I can't stand a cutter. But there are people who are like, because it offers all that stuff. You know what I mean? For them, it offers all that stuff, right? So that's kind of the thing there. Okay, so that's the Crusader Intrepid. Let's go to the next one. The Golem. What are your thoughts about this one? This was the mining ship that they came out with. Starter miner.
I didn't get this one. My feelings on it. It's great that they have a starter miner now. What's the price on this? It is $60 US dollars for the standalone, not a package. I think that's reasonable, and it should hopefully give people a good idea of what mining is like when they start Citizen.
Yeah. What was here was the pushback on this one. There were a lot of people when this ship came out. They didn't like the fact that you couldn't change out the. Was it the mining head? You could only keep a type 1 on there. You can't make it any bigger. There were also people whose attitude, or their take on it was, well, just, you know, the prospector, you know, why get that? CIG on this show this week said something that's really, I think, explains it. They said they want even careers to have a entry point, a starting entry point. Now, I know for most of us, the prospector was that entry point, right? But you're coming in at $150. And then and we kind of took the attitude of, well, if you like mining, now you can go to a mold. And after that, you can go to a Rastra. And then after that, you can go to Orion. But they brought down another price point where they said, no, the barrier of entry from other starter ships, which is normally less than $100. If somebody wanted to start with mining, because maybe they saw the game and they said, I'm into mining and that's what I want to do, they got to spend $150 to come in, right? Or they buy a starter ship, right, fast cart, and then they upgrade it to a prospector. So now they're giving people the option. If you come into the game and you want to do mining from the very beginning, or even if you just want to see what mining is like, you don't have to do this huge financial investment of $150 to see whether or not you like it. You can come in at a lower price point, be able to enjoy mining. And then if you want to graduate up, you don't even have to spend more money. If you want to earn it in game, you can do that. So I think that they've kind of given us the idea, Fast Cart, that they want certain careers to all have this kind of entry point, just like how fighters have an entry point. They want these other careers to have entry points. The Pisces is that for medical, right? For some people coming in before, you used to have to come in with a Cuddy Red at 100 and what was a Cuddy Red? $120 at the time, 130, 120, you know, but people can come in at $60 if they want to, right? So you can have these starter career ships that come into the game. And guess what? If you're beyond that, you don't have to get one. You know, it becomes a token maybe for somebody, as Fast Cart would say.
And you don't have to spend money on it. You can just get UGC in game to just buy it in game.
Exactly. Now, me being a miner, you know me, I'm into mining. I still haven't flown this ship. I haven't flown this ship, and I haven't flown the Fortune. I haven't taken either one of them out yet. So I've got to one day rent one and take it out and see what it's like. You know, I would love to do that, but I have not done that yet. Evil Window, thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. So do you think, have you talked to anybody who's flown these ships? The Golem?
I think I have. I think I've heard positive feedback from it so far.
Okay.
From what I've heard.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Danger Hobo says the Helix 1 is not as good as the Bespoke Golem. That's interesting. Because folks jump to a Helix as quickly as possible. I know there's a Helix 2.
It was 135, so thank you.
Is 135? Okay, wow. Okay. Yeah, geez. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, guys. Everybody has their preference of what they want to use. I mean, some people won't fly this thing just because it's a Drake, right? They don't care. They don't care. There'll be other people who are Drake people who are excited, right? They'll add this to their Drake fleet. You know, they're giving people options, and we try to tell people you do not have to buy anything. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm saying. Just because something comes out doesn't mean you got to buy it. You know, so if it's not for you, believe me, if it's not for you, there's somebody else out there who thinks it is the most beautiful thing out there. You know, you know, a lot of people like this ship.
The other thing is we're forgetting a free fly. People can try it out for free fly for no UEC or cash.
Absolutely.
So yeah, there's that.
Absolutely. But this does give people that opportunity to come in and do something that's going to make them some money and get them started in the game at a very low price point, as far as I'm concerned. So I think it's a cool thing. Like I said, I have to try one out one day. I haven't taken the dive yet, Fast Cart, but I'm going to have to try it out. All right. Our next one here. Gray Cat, MTC. Thoughts, feelings when it first came out? What did you think? What was your initial feelings about this thing?
Yet another LTI token. No, let me stop that. For ground combat, I wasn't interested in the gameplay or the style. It had max crew of 1, small size, flight ready, you know, that good stuff.
Do we need it?
It is 0.5 SCU, so that was automatically a no-go for me. So yeah, the cargo capacity was way too small for me. So yeah, I gave it a pass when it came out. I still giving it a pass.
Huh. So what do you see any practical use for this ship? Or vehicle rather? What is
Racing?
Race? Really?
Yeah, racing. I mean, I don't know how fast it is. But yeah, this is the combat thing. So it has the two guns on top. So maybe they could use it for one of those centers or one of those places on the moon or planet. But I
So
don't know.
let me tell you what I saw somebody do when, and I, this was after it came out. Somebody was doing the Hathor missions, and they went in with this thing, and they were lighting that place up with this thing. I mean, they were cleaning house with this thing. And I saw it in a whole different light. And it's funny because when you watch the commercial for this, they show this thing riding through like a distribution center doing all types of havoc. I think that this is great for two people that want to get together and do some bunker busting or do some missions. They want to get in, do some type of mission where they have to go in and do something and get in and out. Coffee mentions in here that this is the only vehicle that has a shield to it as well, which is interesting.
Really? Okay.
And so I didn't know that either. So to me, I put this thing on my my Starlancer TAC. That's what I've got in there. And I have it as a vehicle for that. So if I had to drop somebody and they want to go somewhere to go do something, the vehicle's in the back there for them. Some people don't like it because of the reduction in size in the sense of how many people can be in it, because they were so used to like the Ursa, which can hold up to 6 people. But for me, and the fact that it's also enclosed for environmental reasons, I like this thing a lot.
That's a good. That is a good. That is an advantage that it has over other vehicles.
Yeah.
I prefer enclosed vehicles when possible, but sometimes you may not have a choice. But yeah, that is a good aspect. Yeah. A good point.
Now I will say this: that what will make this vehicle shine even more is as dynamic weather is starting to kick in now, and environmental issues are kicking in like radiation. Once they get those suit stations working, where you can put your radiation suit in there, or you can put your Novikov in there, because those things are so big, you can't put them in normal lockers. But if you can start doing that on these type of vehicles and you land in inhospitable locations where you were concerned about the cargo aspect of it, now you've got this thing that can go into different type of environments, right? And you can go outside and survive. So I think that for me, that's what something like this is going to shine. But again, because we don't have those dynamics in the game right now really hitting us hard, and because we can't put our suits in there, you don't feel it. But to me, I think that this will become much more viable when it's about environmental stuff and being able to drive around, because in a Tumbril, you're exposed to the weather, right. In an Ursa, right. You don't have the ability to put environmental suits away. You got to get in with them. You should be able to change clothes and put on a flight suit. You can't do that in an Ursa. Whatever you're wearing in an Ursa, you don't even. There's a storage rack in there for 2 guns in an Ursa. That's it. So this thing has those 4 gun racks. You have 4 sets of 4 guns. It's got a whole computer system of components inside. Everything is right there inside of this thing. I think this thing is going to shine later on.
And nothing's going to make me get rid of that link. So
yeah.
I'm a big fan of the links. So
you like the links?
That's the other thing the MTC had gone against it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching this commercial. I forgot how ticked off it made me when I found out that you see it coming out of the water or coming out of the liquid or whatever. GoMap said that's a lie. If you try to go in the water, you die or you explode or something like that. I've heard that they have since tweaked that, and that it can go into some water.
Yeah,
not a lot.
But it's not supposed to be submersible, right? But as you cross streams, rivers, things like that, you should be able to do that. And CIG has kind of made it clear that when we see things in videos, that's what they want to aspire for us to be able to do. So eventually, even if that was the case, it would come later on, right? Because they know they'll get hung showing stuff like that if they don't make it happen in the game. So anyway, that's the MTC. Let's move on to our next Y here. This one here got a lot of shade when it first came out.
Oh boy,
a lot of shade when they first announced this thing. And there was a big why behind this one. Like, why are they doing this? Now, I will admit, when I knew that they were going to do, Asperia was doing a variant on the Prowler, I was looking for something that was going to be along the lines of stealth surveillance, reconnaissance, where the other Prowler was the dropship. I was looking for something that would complement that. And then lo and behold, they ended up doing what they call the Prowler utility. I'm curious, sometimes it seems like CIG names stuff for the sake of naming it, like they just kind of
right.
whatever. And then there's times when they try to put something behind it. They didn't call this the Prowler Cargo or come up with some weird name. They called it utility. And I'm curious as to whether or not this will, and one of the negatives that people felt about it that turned people off was the limited cargo space, right? Only 32 SCU in comparison to other ships. It's not very large as far as that goes.
And it's $300. No, 32 SCUs for $300.
Yeah.
That was the aspect.
So what's the method behind the madness for you? Do you see any things to the why? Why would they decide to pick this ship of all ships to make a utility? I know we can look at the trailer and we see them doing some stuff in here and sneaking up on a Hull C and snatching some boxes off of it and stuff like that. But what are some other reasons you think this might be good?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this had great stealth capability, right? Or
well, that's what Zalox just mentioned that in chat, says that this stealth is a big part. And they just did a rebuffing on the Prowler series. They did some adjustments to its numbers, both on its stealth ability and its hull ability, if I'm not mistaken. It's more stealthy now.
So if you want to munch the cargo stealthily, then this is your ship. And, I compared to like another ship that has 32 SU, can carry 32 SU, say like a Freelancer Max or something. I know it carries more than that, but the Freelancer Max may not be able to get past whatever you're trying to get past, where the Prowler utility may be more suited for that.
Yeah. For those of you who are used to doing hauling, if you came out of Eve, there's foolishness and wisdom to hauling valuable stuff.
God.
Foolishness and wisdom. There are times in Eve where I would haul small amounts of something through dangerous areas because I minimized my risk and my exposure. When I took large ships out, I became much more of a target, and people assumed that I had a lot of something. Whether it was crap or whether it was really good stuff, it drew greater attention to me. And so there would be times when I would just make runs. Instead of making one run someplace, I may have made 3 runs. I may have broken that stuff down and did 3 runs. But it was more important for me to make my delivery safely than it was for me to take a high risk chance of losing everything. And so for those who do hauling, there are going to be times when you're going to haul a lot of stuff. High value, thank you, Bluesy. High value, and you're going to hire escorts. You're going to be like, I got to hire some escorts. I got to put this stuff on a C2, and I'm going to get a bunch of people to go with me. Then there are going to be those times. Go ahead.
Or maybe like that time when it's 5 a.m. and you're the only one who's online.
Exactly.
No one is around to help you.
Exactly.
You're going to need something like this to get through.
Exactly.
I've had my EVE Online experience too. I used to run, we used to do blueprint runs to Jita.
Yep.
Jita is a marketplace or market system for EVE Online.
Mm-hmm.
And it was best back in those days. I don't know what it is like now. Mm-hmm. You put blueprint on a shuttle. The shuttle is like the least expensive, least cargo. It's very small, but it's very fast, and it can align and work fast. So you put all your blueprints, not all your blueprints in the shuttle, and hope that you don't get scrammed somehow. But if you're flying in high tech, you're safe. You fly in low tech, it's a little bit more risky, but you can make it out of warp bubbles and stuff like that pretty fast because your shuttle is fast. So yeah. And again, this is going to be for people I think who are specializing in cargo work. It's not for everybody, and I agree with you, Alias. It's not for everybody. For some people, this is, even if they're doing some type of cargo, this is not something they care about. But it's kind of like the person who wanted the Taurus because the Taurus supposedly has the area to, what is it called, Fast Cart? The shielded area to protect the shielded area.
For smuggling, right? For smuggling.
Yeah,
Some people who do cargo, they're not going to care about smuggling. People who doing black market stuff, things of that nature, they'll be interested in that type of thing. So again, every ship that comes out doesn't mean that you got to buy it. Doesn't mean that we're interested in it. But the question is, will it have some type of practical use in the verse, right? And to Fast Cart's point, this ship is winning. You said, right? The
Yeah, I thought it was.
You said this ship was in the
yeah.
lead with the ship showdown right now, which I'm surprised because there was a lot of negative stuff about this ship when it came out. But I also know there are a lot of people who like it
too.
Yeah, but that's the other thing too. It's in a different genre category. But there are a lot of people who do like the Asperia utility, the Prowler utility. I like it. I'm an Alien fan. I'm an Alien ship fan. And the fact that we really didn't have an Alien cargo ship was another thing other than like the Banu Merchantman. We really didn't have one in game. So that 32 SCU didn't bother me, especially if the ship turns out to do the lore that it's supposed to be, where it's very stealthy, can fly extremely low, to the ground and without being detected, delivery of black market or delivery of high value things. For me, I'm digging it. I'm loving it.
I mean, for me, I was bothered by it until I was discovered it does have stealthy capability. But if I were to do it, I'll probably just rent one in game rather than outright buy one.
Yeah. That's just a skip. Again, it's only if people. I think this is very specialized to me. Right. There will be some other people who would just as easily take a smaller cargo ship out, a hull A or whatever, and do what they need to do. They don't need this, But
Citizen Kilroy.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
No, what is Citizen Kilroy?
Citizen Kilroy. The railing is not in game. Griffin specifically said in game now.
Yeah.
So railing is coming. It's coming, but it's not in game yet.
Yeah. Just only because it's not in game. Absolutely. Yeah. The railing, and I can't wait for the railing Citizen Kilroy. I am so waiting for that ship. I think it's such a cool ship.
You're waiting.
Yeah, I think it's such a cool ship. I mean, just the whole Xi'an technology thing. I'm hyped for. Okay, what do we got next? We have okay.
Oh boy.
RSI Meteor. Your initial impressions, your thoughts, your feelings. What did you think about this one?
I can't remember. Okay, I'm looking for I have it on the page, but
this is the one where they did the whole Star Bright, the poem and everything.
Yeah. I was looking for the price. It's $240 Warbound and $260. No wait. Yeah, $260 RSI credit.
Mm-hmm.
Not my thing. It's a medium fighter, right?
Is this medium,
it's
guys?
Medium fighter.
It's medium, right?
It's a medium, but it's $260. So that's like. There's some heavy fighters that are at the same price. Not my game style. I do like the look. Had the size 5 bespoke. That's one of the ones that had bespoke on it. But it's also ballistic, and I prefer energy if possible. I didn't get it. I didn't get one.
Okay. I'm laughing at the comments. Plague Dealer, not a fan of the Meteor. Prisoner, not a fan. Let's see, almost over.
Oh, they typed it out at the same time.
I don't think anyone is. I know. I'm just cracking up reading the feeling of this. You got Bruce is over there with a vomit thing. Alias is like it's fun to blow up.
The one good thing about the Meteor is that it looks great in red. That's about. I could say one nice thing about it.
Yeah,
it looks great in red.
Yeah, I will say this. I have not gone out and done PvP in this ship. I have done PvE in this ship. I had fun with it in PvE. Now, I know there'll be some people say, oh, nah, I had fun with it in PvE. It took a little while to get used to how to use it. It is definitely, to me, close quarter. You wear them down with one gun and you take them out with the other. That's how I saw it. Prisoner, I agree with you. The interior space is wasted. It has cool stuff in it, but it's designed in some really weird way. The rack that comes up in the middle, there's a lot of stuff there that they did, and it's kind of like it felt forced. It felt like we want to take this ship and we want to create a variant on it. Let's see what we can do with it. And based on how the design, I do like the fact that they changed some things around for the Mantis, but it just feels a certain kind of way with it. Captain Jones says, don't PvP with it. Okay, Captain Jones. That's why I was making sure I was really clear about that. I've done PvE with it and it wasn't so bad. I do think there are better ships out there. I do think that. I think it's beautifully designed. It's a beautiful ship on the outside. This bespoking thing is always going to be a controversy. CIG, I understand why they've said they made it bespoke, but I also know the fans want as many options as possible with their ships. It'll be interesting to see whether or not this ship gets tweaked. I think it will.
And how tweaked.
Yeah. I think it's going to get tweaked more in order to make it rise to the standard that the community really would like to see a ship like this at. But it didn't. It was not well received. People were hyped for it, and then they got in it, and they were just like, you know.
Have you heard of anyone who actually loved the ship?
Well, you know what? Let's talk to Mr. RSI. He's not here. SeriousFun.
Yeah, right. He's not here. That's the reason why I asked this question.
You know, he's like me with Origin right now. If he kind of stutters a little bit, then you know that means it's not good. If his allegiance can't go as far as this ship, now you know he could talk trash and it could be crap. But if you hear him stutter, you know it's not going to be too cool. So we'll have to see. All right. Last but not least, let's hit this last one. And this is the recent one, right? The Kruger.
Really recent.
The Kruger L21. Now you might say, Griff, why did you put this on the why list? Well, because everybody wants to know why they put a fin on the bottom of their ship. Okay. You know, why did they make a ship that looked like a Nabu starfighter from Star Wars? Why did they do that? People have been moaning about this. Let me tell you how bad it was.
God.
The why for this ship is so bad that when it came out, when it was in the PTU, the first thing that a bunch of people did was go out and fly it and see if they could knock the fin off of it so that it wouldn't be there anymore. That's how bad people didn't like the fin. Now, let me ask you, Fastcart, how did you feel about this ship? And let me ask you this from a perspective of, did the fin bother you when you first saw it, or did the fin bother you after people talked about it? I'm really curious about that. Or did it bother you at all, for that matter?
Saw the fin, I wasn't bothered, and people complain about it. I'm still not bothered. I mean, it's one of those things that comes out when you're in the air. It retracts when you're on the ground. They have said that they're thinking about making it pilot controlled, the fin.
Yeah, they said they're going to put. They said they're going to put the option in to retract it. They said they're going to put it in.
Yeah. It's a $90 Warbond light fighter, or $100 with all type credit. I think I have a Gladiator on my account because I wanted something that will help me get used to flying in Squadron 42. So I'll be keeping the Gladiator. I have flown it because I'm a subscriber and I've taken it out. It's not bad to fly. I will give it. It's not bad to fly. But you know, you don't have to see it when you're on the inside. So I hope maybe that'll calm some people down. It won't. But yeah, I mean, I like it, but I'm not going to get one.
Okay.
I like flying it, but I'm not going to get one.
Yeah.
I didn't fight in it though. That's the caveat.
Okay.
How about you?
I don't own an official light fighter that I swear by. I've got heavy fighters that I swear by. I don't have and a medium fighter, but I don't have a light fighter I swear by. I was very excited about this, particularly when I saw the concept images that they presented, right? And I said when I saw the concept images, I liked it. When this came out, they merged some of those ideas into this ship. This isn't one of those concept images. It's a couple of them. It's like maybe 2 or 3 where they've taken a little bit of this one, a little bit of that one. What I like about it, there's a part of me that likes the retro feel, almost a Flash Gordon, all chrome, 1950s chrome. Like the idea of the tail dragger look a little bit to it. It's a little out of place for a spaceship for me, the tail dragger thing. But, you know, because the other Krugers don't do that. The other ones sit a certain way. So that kind of bothered me a little bit with this one. I love the engine design, the double engines on both wings, plus the one in the back. They put out a beautiful color when they're flying. I love the scoop underneath in the back, the way they designed it, where it wraps around the back of the body on the design. And of course, there's the whole seamless look to the ship, which I think is very beautiful. As far as flying it goes, for a light fighter, it feels a little heavy in atmosphere.
Really? Okay.
But considering all that metal and chrome on it, maybe so. But in all the engines, right? Versus a Gladius. Now, in space, it handles really nicely. But in atmosphere, it feels a little bit more like a medium fighter than a light fighter. It's got a beautiful view out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
And I saw some people with some videos where they went into Arena Commander and were just slaughtering stuff in Vandal Swarm with this thing. So I think it's an interesting thing. We priced it about right. We said it should land somewhere between the Arrow and the Gladius, I think it was. So it's right in the right pocket for that as far as a entry. I think it's great for somebody coming in entry. The fin does not bother me. Let me say this real quick. The fin does not bother me. The aesthetic design of the ship does not bother me. When people point it out, it's like it goes in your head because they pointed it out. But for me, it's like if it's on there, fine. If it's not on there, fine. If I can retract it, I'm not going. I don't care. It's if they had taken the fin off, and I look at it on that side profile, it might look a little cooler, but it doesn't detract from it for me. So anyway, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, for you. I like the cockpit. The inside of the cockpit was cool. I like that little clock and everything that it has in it. One of my issues when I first saw the concept before it actually came out, I couldn't see it placed in Star Citizen. It felt like more of a ship that came from a Star Atlas than Star Citizen to me. That's when I first saw the concept. But it has grown on me since then.
Yeah.
And the other thing, when I first saw it, I couldn't see the P-52 Merlin or the P-72 Archimedes design language in it. It felt like too much like a starfighter from Star Wars, the Naboo fighter. Since then, I have been able to see it. But that was my first impression.
Same. I agree with you. I felt the same way at first. And then the more I looked at the other ships, the Merlin and stuff, I said, okay, this is on the Merlin, this is on the Wolf, this is on the, the Archimedes, this is on, and it started to, there was some design language stuff that started to match up, right? But there was also some stuff that was definitely, to your point, distinctly different, right? And you can see where those influences come from. And I know some people have some issues with the influences of this ship, particularly the retro, going back to the past and pulling things in. It's a mixed bag on that feeling, folks. Some people want the ultimate futuristic thing that nobody's ever seen. And then there's also the side of the things that we build are often based upon our influences of stuff from the past. So, yeah, some people saw the Naboo fighter. Some people like me, I saw some stuff going back to Flash Gordon. Some people didn't see Kruger. Some people did. Everybody sees a little bit of something different, I think, in this ship. It's warming up. It has warmed up to me a lot more now. I wasn't that crazy with all the hard pipes and stuff on the engine because it kind of had this futuristic side mixed in with this
retro steampunk.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's rubbing off on me more now. It's rubbing more off on me now. Us Veteran says the James Bond ship. I would agree with that. I would actually agree with that. I would agree with that 100%.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
I would agree with that.
So, did you get one or no?
No, not yet. I'm still holding on. If I get it, I'm going to get it because it's going to go into my Origin account with all the touring luxury ships.
Okay.
Yeah, it would go in that. I wouldn't keep that in my main account. It would go over there with those ships because I think it's a very nice ship, beautifully designed ship. Okay. All righty. Yep. Well, that is it. I know there are other ships that we could probably cover, but today, those are the ones we are covering. As far as why, like I said, I know there's a lot of stuff that people would talk about in relation to some of the other ships that are in the game. But for now, that's where we're going to hit. Do we have any questions, Fastcart? I didn't get a chance to take a look and see. It's a quiet night tonight. Don't have any questions. Quiet night tonight.
We don't have any questions, nor any joke bans. So
wow, that's definitely an unusual evening. All right, well, let's talk about what we do have coming up for next week. Next week, we are going to be discussing update 4.3. I've been kind of holding off on talking about these recent updates, partially because, as you know, there's been a lot going on with getting the game to be stable. And people have had a lot of great experiences. Some people have had some very frustrating experiences, but also because there's been a storyline tied to this. And so I didn't want to really start having a lot of conversations about what was going on with the things that people are doing to get through it, because we, as CIG said, they want us to kind of discover how these missions go. But next week, we are going to talk about 4.3. And we're going to start talking about how this storyline is unfolding and our ideas and thoughts of where CIG is going with this whole thing as we get ready to prepare for next month's patch. And so hopefully you guys will be able to join us for that on next week. Hopefully you'll have a good time with that. And hopefully if you haven't been doing the missions, please do. I just finished doing the boxes thing. And so now I've got to go to the ASD
really?
facilities. Yeah, I got all the planets done finally. So now I got to start
I
doing
only did
ASD.
2.
I was only going to do R Corp all the way, and the rest of them I was going to do to level 3. But then once I started doing them, I was like, I might as well finish them. So,
and you're using the Asgard for that or something else?
I used the Asgard until the elevators started getting really borky, and then I started doing the stealing the ships mission because those were easier to do. They run flawlessly. You don't run any problems with them, and those were easy. Just to you have to know how to do it. You go out there and steal a ship and come back. The other thing that was good about that is that you only have 9 boxes to unload when you do those missions, and so you exponentially move a little bit faster. It only takes like 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes to do those. So if the freight elevators are working great, I wouldn't mind. Y'all know me, I like loading, but if the elevators were just becoming frustrating, particularly on some of the planets I was on, because R-Corp only had a couple locations. It was very frustrating on R-Corp to get those done. Hurston was a lot easier. There were more locations. And Microtech.
Yeah, I did Hurston and R-Corp. I did R-Corp for the colors. It was close enough to rare, but when I finished and put it on some ship, I'm like, I don't like that look. I do like the look for the skin of the Hurston colors. So
yeah. I still wish that the motivation for this would have been you want your home planet to win. I still wish that would have been the factor. But I mean, in the sense of, if my home planet wins, we get something in particular and we get like the discounts and all that stuff, because I want to be able to buy stuff at my home planet and get the benefits of the thing. Like, I don't go to Hurston for anything hardly. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what about the armor? I got the armor coming out my ears. You know what I mean? I would have wanted them 5% discounts or whatever to lean toward my planet. So I wish it would have been.
The bad thing.
The bad thing is what?
The bad thing is that in lore, the Hurston will be the winnings. But I mean, they had the best colors, so you can't really help that.
I know what's colors, but colors don't benefit my gameplay. I wanted it to be that the planet. Here's how. Let me tell you who my scenario would have been. You know how there's like a first, second, and third, fourth, order of the planets.
Yeah, right.
The winning planet gets the benefit of the regen. In other words, their regens, either their regens are free or their regens are easier to get. Where if you're on the 4th planet and you didn't do so well, your regens maybe don't work all the time, or maybe if you try to regen here, the facility's got a line. I mean, something that's in game that would have given me incentive to want my planet's regen to be in a good space. But that's pretty far of a thing. But that's just me. I could have cared less about the paints. I know y'all like the paints and the suits and all that stuff, and they're nice. But I don't think that should have been the motivation. Is the black and gold suit looks good, so forget the regen.
I don't care about the guns. I don't care about the suits. I'm just about the ship skin.
Yeah,
that was my thing.
Yeah, I get it. Yes, thank you, Gregson. Consequences. That's what I'm looking for. Consequences. There you go. That's what I would have loved to have seen. Okay, so anyway, next week, 4.3. That's going to be our conversation. Hopefully you guys will be able to join us. For those of you who came over from Citizen Her, thank you so much. We appreciate you hanging out with us, and hopefully you'll visit with us again. And of course, Citizen Her, thank you for sending your loved ones over. Wormy Nat, didn't get to give you a shout out. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you being here. To everyone who gave us subs today, we appreciate you guys keeping us going. You guys are the supporters. We love you for that. Those of you on YouTube, we want to give a shout out to you all as well too. Thank you. Sometimes we forget about you, but thank you for your dedication and supporting us and being here with us. We really appreciate it. Go ahead, FC.
And thank you for, and speaking of support, thank you for buying our merchandise. We sell t-shirts, we sell hats, we sell mugs. So check out merchandise stores. You want to support us that way. Griffin already mentioned the Patreon. We appreciate there. YouTube, thank you for joining and clicking the join button there and following. We appreciate you too. So thank you for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see, who do we have on today? We have.
I made a couple of suggestions.
Okay, let me see who you wrote down. Oh, why is my thing not on you? I had it on streaming earlier. Yep, that's one of the ones I was going to go to. Papadopoulos, you hit it on the head. You are psychic today, my friend. Notice I said psychic. I said psychic, y'all, not psychotic. He's psychic today, so we're going to go to Papadopoulos.
Whenever I hear psychic, I'm thinking about the bad translating job from anime from 1990. They call it sidekick instead of psychic. Yeah, so whenever I hear psychic, I'm brought back to nostalgia for that.
I got you. Well, listen, we're going to send you
Call
guys.
me now.
We're going to send you guys over to Papadopoulos 84. Papadopoulos, believe it or not, is flying a meteor. So when you guys get over there with Papadopoulos, tell him he's in the wrong ship. No, I'm just kidding. Let him know that you came from the Soul Citizens. Once again, thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you as always. And hopefully we'll see you next week. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. And as always, peace, love, soul. We'll see you later. Ciao.